Hello everyone, I'm MD Mustafizur Rahman and you are watching SofTech BD. Today we are going to talk about Agentic AI but not just as another tool. We are going to understand it as part of a large pattern in how humans evolve technology. So let's get started. Let me ask you something. Do you really think agentic AI is something completely new? Or is it just the next step in a pattern we have seen before? Take a second and think about that. Because once you understand this pattern, you won't just follow trends. You will actually be able to predict what's coming next. If we go back to the early days of computing, software development was incredibly difficult. Developers had to deal with anything memory, low level instruction, hardware limitations. Even to solve a small business problem, they had to build a lot of supporting system first, which today we are called compiler, operating system, interpreter, etc. So this is where the pattern began. Human start with full control and maximum complexity. Now we are starting about the shift of abstraction. This is our second milestone. Things started to change. We introduced programming language, then operating system, then frameworks. Let me ask you something. Do you think about CPU instruction when you build an API today? Of course not. Why? Because abstraction removed that burden. But there's something important. Complexity didn't disappear. It just moved somewhere else. Now, instead of thinking about machine, you think about business logic, API, and user experience. Let me ask you this. In our current work, are you really solving problem or are you still spending time deadline with unnecessary complexity? This pattern isn't limited to software. Think about a farmer. At one point, farming was done by hand. Then come tools, then animals. Now we have tractors and automated system. The global didn't change, but the level of thinking did. What's changing now? Now we are at the next shift. Before you identify every step, you control the entire flow. The machine simply execute your instruction. Now imagine this. Instead of define every step, you define a goal and the system start figuring out how to achieve it. Pause for a moment. What would the change in your daily workflow? This is the key shift. Execution is no longer full control by human. Decision making is become part of system itself. That's what agentic AI really is. How agentic AI system think? Now let's go a bit deeper. How does an agent actually work? At its core, it follow a loop. As a piece of software engineer, that's called brute forces. It's look at a goal, it create a plan, it takes action, it evaluate the result and then it adjusts. Let me clarify. There have four pillars. Think, act, evaluate, improve. How connect this with your own experience? When you debug something, do you get it right the first time? No. You try something, you check the result, you fix it. That's exactly what an agent is doing. This is why agentic AI feel powerful, not because it's perfect, but because it can adapt and iterate. The developer mindset shift. Now we come to the most important part in this video. Let me ask you directly, are you just writing code or are you design systems? Because your role is changing. The old mindset was I need to write every step. The new mindset is I need to design how the system figures out the step. That's a big shift. Instead of asking how do I implement this feature, start asking how should a system approach this problem. Now your focus become define goals, setting constant, designing feedback loops. Are you moving from a coder to system thinker? How to adapt? So the final question is how do you adapt to this shift? First, stop focusing only on syntax and framework. Those are tools, not the core skill anymore. Second, start thinking in system how things connect, how decisions are made, how feedback flows. Third, start experience. Don't just use AI to get answer. Let it try solve problems. And finally, always maintain control. So your role it's going away. It's becoming more important. Every major technological shift has pushed human to think at higher level. Agentic AI is doing the same thing. The real question isn't will AI replace developer? The real question is are you ready to think at next level? Because the future is not about writing more code. It's about design system that can think, act and improve on their own. Thank you for watching SofTech BD. Assalamu alaikum.